A Freeport woman retraces history in a 169-year-old home. She connects a root cellar to possibly protecting slaves in the Underground Railroad.
WIFR's Nathaniel Langley learned of Polo's connection and finds an expanding network connecting communities to the past.
It's gorgeous here, as you saw when we walked around a little bit.
Rachel Gastel grew up with Freeport's Oscar Taylor house as her backyard.
I'm so proud to be able to kind of share their stories.
The marketing director for the Stevenson County Historical Society now preserves the building's legacy.
They helped a lot of people.
Beneath the beauty of this building, there is a history though, right?
There are lots of stories in the basement of this home.
Down the stairs of the 169-year-old Taylor home sits the connection between Oscar and Melvina Taylor and the Underground Railroad.
This is the area where the potential Underground Railroad space was held.
Abolition ran in the Taylor family. Oscar's dad, former New York Congressman John W. Taylor, was the first Speaker of the House to criticize slavery, decades before the Civil War.
The more that we dig into the history, the more we're going to learn.
That includes reopening history through the door of a room once hidden behind a cabinet.
So this is what we call the Underground Railroad room.
A root cellar, coal cellar, or a third possibility for Gastel.
Freedom seekers would be staying here, but we, again, have no documentation.
She says the Taylors concealed their involvement to protect freedom seekers.
I think the Taylor family took the information to their grave with them. If they were caught, they would have been hung or taken back to work.
The director works alongside the newly created Illinois Freedom Trails Commission, documenting the state's 429 places where slaves stopped on their path to Canada.
Our goal over the next couple years is to dig into the freedom seeker history because I know it's out there.
What inspires you to dig into this?
It's important to know where we come from because it's going to help us in the future.
In Freeport, Nathaniel Langley, WIFR News.
Between 2024 and 2025, Illinois' Freedom Corridor expanded from 7 to 429 sites connected to the Underground Railroad. Gastel says anyone can keep that number growing by researching their family history and possible links to supporting freedom seekers.